Good evening
Good
out there,
evening.
Facebook Live crew.
Hello.
Well, today we're going to continue our final part on how to beat the numbers and coaching couples. I'm tongue tied now. In Couples Coaching 101, episode
Yes.
29. So first, we like for you to know that this is a public forum. So anything that you post or write in the comment section, it is public for all those to see. If you have a private matter that you would like for us to address for you, please send an email to lifewithoutlimits with an S, CC at gmail.com. Lifewithoutlimits cc@gmail.com. And thanks for tuning in and joining. We're going to get kicked off here. I think last week we kind of reviewed what we talked about the first week.
Yeah.
So just to highlight a little bit what we talked about last week was to have a personal development plan. Did you want to go over some of those? Or
Yeah.
just name them a little bit?
I can name them. Okay, so number one was negotiate your money. And this was how to beat the numbers. And number two was ignore the numbers. 3 was give more than what you're getting paid for. 4 was have a personal development plan. 5 was business ownership. And 6 was take responsibility.
Absolutely.
And so I won't go into it. You can kind of go back and check the videos out from last week and the week before, because this is part 3. And so that way we'll have as much time to focus on wrapping up today.
Okay, absolutely. So point number 7 in this, and again, this topic came from an article from blackdemographics.com that really was just talking about the income that African Americans have in the United States, and it covered a period from the 69, 1970 on through 2014, 15. Some of the data goes through, and it talks about our median income, our education, and all those things. And one thing that that was a pleasant surprise is that as African Americans, we're pretty well educated, and only 7% of us actually do not have a high school diploma. So you would think that it would be worse than that,
right,
based on a lot of things that you see. That's why you can't believe the media. So that's why we wanted to flip all these things that you see, because you can take statistics and information and you can kind of manipulate them to focus whatever it is that you want to focus on. So what we wanted to do was take the information, highlight it, let everybody know pretty much what's in the article, and then tell you how to beat those numbers. So use them for motivation, because they're just that. They're statistics. I mean, if my life was based on statistics, and maybe yours, I mean, I may not even be here today. Certainly wouldn't have the education nor the lifestyle that I've become accustomed.
Right. So you, in some regards, you almost have to be ignorant in that regard to what others think you ought to be, and what the statistics say you ought to make, because we live in America. And America is one of the richest countries in the world, and it's a place where you can honestly, Les Brown says, if you don't see, if you can't find the opportunity that you're looking for, he said, then create it. And we live in America, and so we can create our own opportunities.
Absolutely. It certainly, just looking into point number 7, and I'll let you start it off, and it reminds me of a speech that you did about the frogs a long time ago. I don't know if you remember that famous speech that you did about...
it was famous in my own mind.
But anyway, I'll let you jump in, and then I'll share the story about the frog speech.
So eliminate and minimize people and situations that are holding you back. And so that was really something... and sometimes this is within close quarters. So sometimes it could be people that love you. Like I remember when I first got started in the direct sales industry, and everybody wanted to save me. They said, George, that thing don't work, and people are not successful at it. It's just a handful of people that make all the money at the top, and blah, 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 blah. And, thank God, that it did affect me. Because when people say things, people that you respect, like your mom or like an uncle that you look up to, or maybe the pastor of your church. And I remember one time, I can't remember, what church it was. And, but they said that network marketing was a scam, right? It was a pyramid. It was a scam, and it was there to take advantage of people and things like that. And I'm not going to say that didn't affect me, because it did.
Right, absolutely.
And so you have to be mindful of who you turn over. Hey, Mr. Lee, you have to be mindful of who you turn over your who you allow influence you.
Absolutely.
Jim Rome used to say, who are you associating with? What do they have you doing? What do they have you saying? And is that okay? Okay?
Absolutely.
And so check your association. Focus on the can-dos. Sometimes we get so caught up on can't-dos, but what can you do? Never let what you can't do stop you from doing what you can do. Okay? And then 4 is shed the dead weight. One thing I realize is sometimes we try to carry people. We see it a lot with, professional athletes, where they want to bring their entourage with them, all the, uncle, cousin, this person, uncle so-and-so that bought me a warm-up suit when I needed a warm-up suit that time, and this cousin bought me sneakers, and you want to bring those folks with you when you make it. But sometimes, I remember in 30 for 30, that's a movie, well, not 30 for 30, but it was ESPN has a show called 30 for 30, and they had a show on there called Broke. And I remember this episode, and this guy said, I can't remember who it was, he said one of his boys called him, and he said, yo, man, I need some money. He was like, well, okay, how much money? What do you need? $2,000, $3,000. He said, dude, I need $250,000. And he said, okay. And he gave him the $250,000. And so the guy that was interviewing him said, you gave him the $250,000? He said, yes, because I also told him this is it. This is the end of the line. Okay? Don't ask me for nothing else.
That was pretty generous.
That was pretty generous.
For it to be the end of the line.
Absolutely.
So,
but you can't carry people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I wanted to, when you talked about, I guess your association, I wanted to reiterate the importance of not sharing your dream with everyone or anyone. That, a lot of times we're so focused and we're so excited and we're writing our plan out, and we just want to share, and we want to just talk to people and ask people what they think about it. And we have to be really careful about that. For a number of reasons, because for one thing, you can't tell them everything at that moment.
And it could be boastful, actually.
It can definitely come across as boastful.
And arrogant.
As boastful, being boastful. Or somebody who may not be ready for how big your dream is.
That's right.
Okay, so they're not evenly yoked. They don't understand the provision that you have for your vision.
Right.
So because of that, they may perceive it as you being boastful, braggadocious, or what have you.
Exactly. So who do you share it with then?
You need to share it with someone that you really trust, your spouse, maybe someone, if you have a mentor.
Right.
That's who you discuss those type of things with. Someone that, if you're investing in a business with someone, you all need to be discussing those types of things and talking with your mentor, whoever's providing that mentorship. So I just wanted to share that, because it's not for everybody. Everybody can't believe the way you believe.
Right. Right.
And then point number 8 was think outside the box. And what I wanted to say about that, and I know you have some other things to say about that, is when you be open for change, be open to change if you need to do something different, but also think about ways that you can create that missing piece.
Right.
So is it a service there's a gap in the service, and you can figure out a way to be creative with it.
Yeah, let me say something about that. If you a good show to watch that we watch as a family, is Shark Tank. And people come up with the weirdest thing. I saw this guy had he had some kind of poop. What was it? Remember?
I forgot.
He had some kind of poop. It was doo doo. I don't know if that's the proper word for it. Manure.
Yeah, it was manure
that he was selling, and it was something special about it.
Yeah,
and
I forget the details.
I thought, wow.
Yeah, like
that's interesting.
Like they
right?
were on with manure and the artificial peat moss, all kinds of different things.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Right, but these folks were filling the gap. Taking care of the environment and the ecosystem is very important to more and more people as we become more aware. Despite 45 not thinking that there's anything wrong with that, but anyway.
Right. I got you.
Not trying to be political on this segment. That's another video. But anyway, that's a gap. That's a service where those companies they come up with unique ways to fill a gap or a service. And I'll let you pick up with some of the other notes that you had made.
So the other thing is, don't be so hard on yourself. I think, too often, what I've learned is what's true in the morning is not true in the afternoon. Sometimes I ride my bike and it may be cloudy in the morning, but hot as I don't know what in the afternoon.
You ride your bike like?
And my motorcycle.
I was about to say, don't say you riding your bike like it's not a bike.
Okay. But motorcycle. But so the mornings are different from the afternoons. I rode this morning. It was great. I had short sleeves on and I forgot my long sleeve. Well, this afternoon, as you know, my dial read 100.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So my arms were sizzling. Okay. So what's true in the morning is not always true in the afternoon because we change, people change. And so don't be so hard on yourself. And, if I could say, redefine failure, okay? A lot of times we look at things and we say, oh, that was a failure. Like the CEO of Coca-Cola who got fired for New Coke because it was a dismal flop. But because the people he had went to this new Coke and they had missed the original Coke, they rebranded the original Coke and called it the new original Coke.
Right.
And they hired him back.
Right. And we're still drinking that Coke
and we're
today.
Still drinking. They later fired him again. But, CEOs, that's just what they do, okay? And the other thing is follow your passion.
Absolutely.
Okay? If you follow your passion, you follow your heart. Okay? Now, maybe you can't afford to do it full-time right now, but you can sure do it part-time. You can do it for free, right? And at least you're honing your skill. You're getting better. Okay, so follow your passion, follow your heart.
Absolutely. Do you remember the frog story?
I do remember the frog story.
You want to tell it?
You want me to share it, or do you want to share it?
No, I'll let you share it because I know you probably remember all the details of it.
Okay,
so we'll close out with the frog story.
Before we close out, you talking about close out.
That's right.
The power of productivity. My new release, and actually, surprisingly, it was the #1 new release on Amazon. Okay, I don't know what that means. It means we sold a few copies. Okay, and we're off. I
know the doctor that spoke at WSSU last weekend. Her book was also one of the #1 bestsellers on Amazon new releases. So she had that title. So it must be something really great.
Yeah. So anyway, but we're excited. I'm looking forward to. It's a small book. I think it's only, what is it?
Like 40 pages.
Yeah, like 38 pages, okay? I'm into simplicity, keeping things simple, and I've got a lot of books that I've started that I didn't finish, but this is one you can definitely finish, and hopefully, it'll be a blessing for you. But the story about the frogs is, there's a story about a frog, and he had entered the race, and it was a race, big race. And so on race day, gun goes off, okay, and all the frogs start hopping, okay, and there were people on the side I mean, they're not even in the race, okay? But they're on the side. And they're
All the
yelling.
spectators.
They're yelling.
And the haters.
At the frogs that are moving, that
And
are
the
in the
naysayers.
race. That said, yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to run this race, okay? So the spectators, they're on the side. And they're yelling, you can't do it. You're not going to be successful. Nobody in our family has ever done that before, right?
Yep.
And
it's
so
too hard.
It's too hard. And so the frogs, so basically they thinned out. So it started out with 100, then down to 50. Then from 50, it got to 5. And then they got to 5. And then there was one that finished the race. And he was the first place. So he strides across the line. And so, of course, the other, frog commentators, they wanted to, see what his secret, how did he win the race? And here's what they found out. He won the race because he was deaf. So he couldn't hear. He couldn't hear all the negative comments. He couldn't hear. And we have to turn, if you have a goal, if you've got a vision, I guarantee you for every one person that you're going to find that's going to say that, yes, you can do it, you will find 5 that will tell you why you can't. And why we tried that, and my uncle tried that, and it don't work, and my cousin got a bakery, and I'm telling you right now, you can't make no money baking no cakes. Because folks want stuff for free, and blah, 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 blah. And I tell you what, and it ain't about the people that don't believe, it's about the handful that do believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So please, we invite you to please share this video with people on your Facebook pages, and also you can look for the video on YouTube as well. And so we'll tune in with you next week. And remember that we empower the people that build the relationships. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye-bye.